Hey music world, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning, here today to chat about this latest record from the Soft Pink Truth. It's called Can Such Delightful Times Go On Forever? Now, the Soft Pink Truth is the side project of Drew Daniel of Matmos fame, and he has been using this side project over the last 2 decades to expand his sound into everything from IDM, minimalism, as well as more recently his stab at neoclassical composition. And I've always had sort of mixed feelings on the project when it comes to their early IDM days with albums like Do You Party, which I know people adore. I was never that crazy about it. I've always thought these records around this time were a little bit too skeletal when it comes to, IDM. For my money, I need something a little bit more immersive and less skeletal. Now, his follow-up project, Do You Want New Wave or Do You Want the Soft Pink Truth? I did enjoy the record a little bit more, mostly because it did have this kinetic energy and a lot more personality to it. I had a lot of the same feelings on Why Do the Heathen Rage, but at the time, this wasn't my go-to. This wasn't really gripping me nearly as much as I felt like it was for other listeners. But with Shall We Go Sinning So That Grace May Increase, Drew took the project in a very different direction. It was a very sunny, dreamy record that blended elements of folktronica and modern classical. It just showed so much more range and depth than what I was used to hearing, and that excited me. And is it going to get any deeper than this? I felt was like coming full circle for the project, the real realization of what Drew can do here. So leading up to this record, I was curious. I thought the singles were very lovely, with Drew continuing to go down the classical route. My expectations were pretty high, and for the most part, it's a pretty decent set of modern classical tunes. Like Near Survival Is Not Enough, this is a stunning opener. It feels like the opening credits to a very colorful, very surreal movie. It's playful, it's charming, it's absolutely bursting with personality. There's so much happening on tracks like this, but it never feels cluttered. It feels like every instrumental is right where it should be. It's constantly growing, with this instrumental just building up this very sweeping atmosphere. And it's impressive. It's a great intro. I almost hear like a little Mike Oldfield Tubular Bells influence on it. Also really love And By A Cloud Takes All Away. This track is a little bit different. It's warm, it's hip, it's really classy. It feels huge, but in a gentle way. I really love the plucked harps and the very eerie vocals floating through the background. It's just so dainty and sweet. It puts a smile on my face. When these tracks land, they come off gigantic. And Underneath Part 1 might be the most overtly classical thing on this record. It's light and airy and genuinely beautiful. From the plucked guitars to the delicate strings, there's a lot packed in here. Every second counts on a record like this, and this one knocks it out of the park. Now, I will say this, though, and this does hurt me to say it, I do feel like Drew has put out much more complete and concise projects. Like Phrygian Ganymede, for example, this album is 10-minute journey. It's just not for me. I'm not opposed to a longer cut on an album like this. This kind of track was made for a record like this. But what Drew brings to the table here just doesn't justify the length. It uses a lot of the same elements as the stronger cuts on this record, but it feels a lot less engaging. I love the synth work on this track, but it doesn't really go anywhere. It's busy without being as engaging as other cuts on this record. I just know that Drew can do a lot better, but for right now, this is my least favorite track on the record. L'Esprit de l'Escalier is another misstep as well. It's whimsical, but to a fault. Compared to the grandiose compositions earlier on in this record, this just feels way too breezy for me. It almost comes off like rejected Disney music. It lacks the engagement aspect and the emotional output of some of the earlier tracks here. For a few short minutes, I just feel like Drew's trying a little bit too hard. We also have Underneath Part 2, this album's finale. Personally, I found it really frustrating. I would much rather listen to the first part of it. And there are great ideas here. Once again, the lush harps and the church bells are really nice touches. But it doesn't add anything meaningful to this record. Given to, just how spectacular some of the other records in the Soft Pink Truth's discography have ended, this is a letdown. So yeah, this is not the boldest or most engaging release in these genres, but still, there are some really great deep cuts. Like Time Inside the Violet, this may be my favorite track here. After such a busy record, just the amount of restraint on display on this track is very satisfying. It's low-key for sure, but it's packed with mystery and wonder. It's one of the most immersive cuts here, and it really does put a real light and a spotlight on what Drew can do with atmosphere. And Orchard is just gorgeous. Pound for pound, one of the most beautiful tracks here. And the warm atmosphere just makes me feel cozy, like I'm watching the sunrise from a little cabin in the mountains. It's patient, it's deliberate, and it really does hit me hard. So overall, no, this is not my favorite record in the Soft Pink Truth's discography. It's not even my favorite modern neoclassical record. I mean, that Juliana Barwick and Mary Lattimore record that dropped about a month ago is a whole lot more heavy-hitting than this. But still, in parts, it really does show just what Drew can do with so little. This is a very minimalist, very elegant, and very dainty neoclassical record, one with a lot of ideas. I just wish it was tightened up a little bit. I'm feeling a very strong 6 on this record, but let me know what you all think down below. If you liked the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe. If you're feeling froggy, hit those notifications, and of course, let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, friends.